What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is a very exciting day. It's a few days after I've already purchased it, but we have a new addition to the Cummins Cruiser family in this 1991 Toyota Land Cruiser. This is the 3FE, and it needs a little bit of work. So it is fuel injected, not carbureted, and it needs a little bit of work. They've been used for pretty much just like a utilitarian style vehicle. They have a fire extinguisher there, which is either preemptive or maybe a sign that other things were going to happen, like this wiring job. Anyways, things that were missing and things I need to get this engine started if I want to just see if I want to test this out and get it running, which I do. The alternator is missing. The person who was working on it, I guess, took it, and when they sold it, didn't have one. So we literally just trailered this on the way home and got it running under its own power, but it's running really rough. So unfortunately, the previous owner put Coca-Cola in the gas tank, and you can see there the delineation from the Coca-Cola and the old gas, and it curled it. Apparently that helps stop the rust. I don't really know much about that, and I probably wouldn't have done that, but obviously drained the tank, put some new fuel in it, and it's running rough still. So I think the fuel filter is clogged. On these, it's relatively easily accessible. Kind of hard to see, but that thing with the three little crowns or the little prongs right there is the fuel filter. So first thing I'm going to do is replace that, probably the fuel pump as well, because that could have been contaminated with the Coca-Cola. But other than that, it did run decently well. I got it moving under its own power. One of the brake lines is locked up, so it was dragging tire all the way back. Yeah, these tires are all dry rotted anyways because it's been in the Vegas sun for probably about 4 years not running. So got a bunch of cool stickers here, got some professionally installed ditch lights, and this roof rack, which is just a pitiful. I mean, he looks like he tried to make some sort of a mount here, but then he ended up just welding them. I'm not gonna lie, I've had situations like that where I just get tired and end up doing that anyways. So, but yeah, these are actually HIDs. Remember those from like back in the 2008s? This is a roof rack made from plumbing pipe, so this will be coming off, and I'm gonna try and make that look semi-decent. But let's take a look at the interior here. This was I forget what paint code this is, but it's that blue gray kind of color. Looks like they tried to paint over it, so we'll be looking at paint for this, but we'll see. There was a thermostat in it. It leads me to believe that it could need something done with the cooling system, hopefully not the head gasket. But yeah, it has all third row seats, and they're in decent condition for being 32 years old, almost as old as I am. But yeah, so the ignition was, I don't know what they did to that, but I've been starting it with a screwdriver. So fun times there. We'll need a new ignition, and dash is cracked, of course. We do have the anti-theft system, the original, so in case anyone tries to steal this, we'll be fine. Pretty much just stock, nothing crazy back here, kind of boring, but that's kind of what I wanted. I got this for a really good price, and I want to either come and swap this, probably just for the time being, just get it running with the 3FE and then see what I want to do with it from there. Check out all the axles and everything. Everything seems to be in pretty good working order. Everything's stock except for he extended these links and put some what looks like Dom tubing over the lower links. So that's pretty cool. Front looks pretty much just stock, nothing's done to it. I can't identify if these are stock springs or aftermarket. I would assume they're aftermarket. Oh, look, we can actually see here. What did it say? I can't quite read that. I'll get in there and then put it up. And then put it up here, the brand up here for you. No front bumper, but that's not a huge issue. We just put a new bumper on there anyways, but I thought this would be a good candidate for a swap because it was, again, very low in price. I'll let you guys comment down below what you think I got it for. But yeah, we'll probably just do a compression test. We'll put our little turkey baster UV dye on the radiator to see if the head gasket has failed. In case we do want to sell this to somebody, not like we're going to get a whole lot of money for it, but the thing I'm confused now is I'm trying to research what this whole system is. Apparently there's a smog pump. Kind of unclear on what that is, but it's basically like essentially like a pulley driven EGR valve, I think. So that was taken off when they were trying to redo the alternator. So a lot of these like EGR or like PCV or these intake hoses were going to it, which leads me to believe that that could be why it's running rough. This is obviously not OBD2. I don't even know if it's OBD1. I got to do some research. If any of you 3FE guys have any input, please comment down below. Could use some help just getting this thing back to life, just to have it move under its own power. But yeah, it's running kind of rough, and I think the idle just has to do with a lot of these intake hoses being off and obviously not having an alternator. So there's no coolant in it. I just had it running just enough to get it into its place. Got a nice little pintle hook here / tow bar, which is kind of cool. I'll probably put that on Tanya. And these are not the full float rear, unfortunately. Do you guys have any experience on the pros and cons of this original non-full float versus the full float? Comment down below and let me know, because I don't really see a whole lot of issue with just keeping these, but I guess I could swap it when I find one. So as for what's going on with Tanya, let's go take a look. Tanya is in great shape, and I actually just got both of these EGT and boost gauges working, and they work really well. I've also got a Chinese oil pressure sending unit so I can see my full oil pressure as well. So all the gauges are working. I snapped off the old crankshaft position sensor, so I did get that reinstalled, so our dash is working again. I'm gonna just take out this whole plate that I made. I like the fact that it does bolt in, but in order to get the wrenches working, and now I actually have to redo this to get them to clear, I had to cut the boot a little bit, and now we have exhaust gases and stuff coming into the engine. So what I'm gonna do is just take this off, go get like 1/4 inch sheet metal, and then just weld. This is just not lined up properly, and the nut, which goes on the yoke for the transmission, is getting in the way. I'm working on a dual battery system, and we can actually take the spare tray from the 91 because those are on the passenger side. So we can get a dual battery system going in here so that we can put our fridge back down here. I'm gonna remove this. I just put it there just to see if it was working, and of course it's not. So I wanna work on putting the dual battery switches somewhere around the center console, but we'll see how that goes. So right now I'm actually just working on this fun little area where I've had to drill and tap. This is the timing pin or flag area for the P pump on the Cummins, and it's leaking oil just a little bit. It's weeping out of this hole, so I'm gonna get some RTV on that and try and seal it up. So this is kind of a dual battery kit that I pieced together through Amazon. I kind of customized this panel. It comes with these switches and all the wiring behind it, but I ended up going with 2 USB-Cs and a regular USB, and then a dual voltage for both batteries so you can see what voltage you got, and then just a regular SIG socket for the fridge and that kind of stuff. And then 150 amp fuse. This is the solenoid that I'll use to connect them. I'll put a signal wire here from ignition, probably the antenna, since it'll be on the passenger side. And then I got a few of these breakers that I can kind of putz around with and see. Maybe if I put the solar panel on top of it, then I can use that in order to power stuff. We'll see. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to give you kind of a little bit of an update. There's a lot of things going on right now, especially since the move. It's been kind of hectic and chaotic, but that's what's going on now. The new Cruiser is going to be probably a Cummins swapped, not quite sure. Might do a cheap LS. Give me your feedback in the comments. Let me know what you guys want to see. We'll probably go a bit of a different route than the one we did in the white Land Cruiser. So we're gonna go with the Rock Bug kit, because Matt Blum, who you guys probably have seen on Facebook, who has also done a Cummins swap Cruiser, and he's been in some of the videos. He's been in a lot of the videos, actually. He has an extra kit for me from Rock Bug from Australia. So I'm thinking I'll get one of those from him, get motor mounts and get the alternator bracket and all that stuff, and then try a new swap. So there's a different option for you guys if you don't want to go the route that I did initially. So for more day-to-day kind of updates, I'll be making shorts. So check those out on the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good night.